What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Beats and B-sides. We back. We back. Hope everybody... Jeez. My bad. My bad. Hope everybody is being safe. And hope everybody is enjoying Autopilot. Everybody should have got their vinyl today or sometime this week. And if you haven't, it's on its way if you're overseas. But yeah, man. Beats and B-sides. I got mad, like, air in my body. But yeah. Beats and B-sides. 19 years since Got Lyrics was released. Got Lyrics. An amazing album of mine. My second album that I released to the public. My oldest son is 19, so... What up, Gareth? What up, what up, what up? Your vinyl was on its way, man. But yeah, Got Lyrics, man. Got Lyrics. It's crazy, like, to think about, you know, the fact that I've been doing this for over 20 years. If Got Lyrics is 19, then Unforeseen Shadows is 21, 22. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. You know what I'm saying? And it's really great that you guys are still here supporting me. You know, just released Autopilot, you know, about a month ago. And still doing it. You guys still care, you know, and that feels awesome. That feels great. But something that you guys haven't heard in a while, we gonna get into our verse of the week. You know, we gonna get into our verse of the week because I haven't done a verse of the week in a while. Before I start talking about Autopilot. And yeah, been mad busy, man. Mad busy on the videos, mad busy on the work. And if you guys are nice, what up, Paddington? And if you guys are nice to me, you know how the Beats and B-sides fam always get the sneak preview. You always get, you know, everything before everybody else did it. So hang out with me, you know, as we go through Got Lyrics, and you guys get the full sneak peek of the Conquer the Climb video directed by my man Blueprint. It's a really dope video. He did his thing. He did his thing. But yeah, we gonna get into our verse of the week, and then we gonna dive into Got Lyrics, and I'm gonna talk about, you know, a little bit behind the scenes in recording the album. Talk about some songs, some lyrics, you know, some things of that nature. So yeah, man, but let's get this started with the verse of the week. Now, the verse of the week this week, it comes from a joint that I did with my homie Te Amo Danku. I'm not sure if a lot of you have heard of him. You should have. He's put out mad albums, got features from everybody in the universe. Him and Blueprint did a video last year. He's part of a crew with my man Carnage the Executioner. And yeah, man, we've done a couple things in the past, and this is a new joint that he hit me up about. It's called Spoon Fed. And I'm going to play you the whole song. I'm going to play you his verse, and then I'm going to spit my verse. So this joint is called Spoon Fed by Te Amo Danku. And here we go.
Let's spoon feed them this. Spoon feed them. Yeah. Illogic, what's good? Yeah. Just talk to him, man. Spoon feed them this. Yo. Perfect my panic in the perfect picture. Next to knickknacks, weathered frames, and unreadable scripture. Heard that Panic had an angry sister. Who had had warts, a witch nose, and body blisters. A-listers don't even greet me when I'm around. That's why they get spit out nasty in my music sound. Frowns finagle the public who dance to Iggy club hits. I'd rather Young Gunna tie a cowboy man like Lyle Lovett. Wild luscious, Duchess with high sex appeal. So filtered in an image, you hardly know she's real.
What up,
Smell
Jason?
like rotten veal. She get the soft cotton heel. Part Superman, my midsection man of steel. Reel in your attention, spawn my trout salmon. New tricks to old games of backgammon. Mammoth Malin, holding knives of elephant tusk. Used to slit throats of unjust such without fuss. Spoon feed them these words you can't quite swallow. The place my mind goes is Sleepy Hollow. If you can't awaken by the time you follow, I only walk on water because the pool is shallow. Spoon feed them these words you can't quite swallow. The place my mind goes is Sleepy Hollow. If you can't awaken by the time you follow, I only walk on water because the pool is shallow.
Illogic here at service, here to serve you, so hi there. Come on, let's get these little kitties strapped in they high chairs. It's obvious they don't know what's good for them, so we here to show them, planting seeds that hopefully they can grow from. People gravitate towards immediate gratification and everything they do, including music, but we can't be deterred by the clowns who dumb it down for fame. You got a brain, I just want you to use it. Take a little time to decode the layers of language scripted by the gifted wordsmiths painting pictures. See, I recall a day where we paid attention to the lyrics and the pinnacle was making bread. Then the bubble gum seeped in the realm. We didn't have a chance, cause as long as they could dance, you would sell. But we never left the fight. We fight for those who take pride in what they write to the death. The ref can be spoon-fed. Yeah. I messed up a little bit, but spoon-fed. My man Tiamo Danko, we gonna shoot a video for that joint too. Kind of excited about it. But yeah, man, I ain't done a verse of the week in a minute, so that felt good. But so yeah, man, beats and B-sides, got lyrics. What up, Mike? My brother in the house. Shout out to everybody who been supporting the Beats and B-sides movement. I'm burping, like my torso is filled with mad gas. But shout out to everybody who been supporting the Beats and B-sides movement. And yeah, man. So we gonna get into Got Lyrics. Now, Got Lyrics, for those who have been following my career, Got Lyrics was the second album that I released. But for many of you, you may not know, and I've talked about this before when talking about Celestial and talking about Unforeseen Shadows. Many of you may not know that Got Lyrics actually was not supposed to happen. Got Lyrics was actually done just because. Now, originally, Celestial Clockwork was actually my second album. Celestial Clockwork was mostly done before Got Lyrics came out. A little history behind that. Many of you may remember that there was a label that was releasing Dose One music, that the original label that Float came out on by A$AP Rock. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the label was. Float. Yeah, the label was Mush Records. Mush Records was releasing, they were one of the first indie labels to really tap into the underground. Before Rhymesayers, before Def Jux were even existed. They were releasing Dose One records. They had a lot of the 1200 Hobos. They were releasing a lot of their albums. And they wanted an album for me because I had done music with Dose One. I was, in that circle. And it's crazy because they wanted Celestial Clockwork, but the money that they were offering us for Celestial Clockwork, we knew we had something special with Celestial Clockwork. So Mush wanted a record from me, and they wanted Celestial, but we were like, you know, with the money they were offering, we were like, nah, we good. But, you know, we'll get you something. So at this time, I was living in Cincinnati. I was going to school in Cincinnati, and Blueprint was living in Cincinnati. And, you know, we were doing records. And so we decided, like, let's throw something together. You know, that was the idea. Let's throw something together so we can get a record out on Mush, because Mush was popping back then. And so we took a weekend. Got Lyrics was recorded, written in a weekend, in probably 4 days. It was probably a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of writing and recording. So I wrote all the lyrics. Print was making beats. He had beats. And we recorded Got Lyrics. And that's the reason that Got Lyrics exists. Got Lyrics actually was not supposed to be my second album. Celestial was actually supposed to be my second album. And what was dope was, you know, even once we finished the record, and Mush still was like the thank you, I appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, these beats I'm playing, these are joints that are probably gonna be, you know, make it to my next album in the background. Just playing some instrumentals for y'all, just showing y'all I got the joints. But yeah, so Got Lyrics actually wasn't supposed to exist. Got Lyrics was actually something that we put together to give to Mush, but we still weren't happy with the money that they were offering us. So we ended up putting it out ourselves because it ended up being a really dope project. And, you know, we were just on fire at the time. So, and the first song that I wrote for the project was the song Got Lyrics. And, you know, because it was one of those songs that it was kind of, you know, I didn't want to have the second album hangover that a lot of artists go through, because Unforeseen Shadows was a hit. You know, cats really dug Unforeseen. And, you know, but I was on my poetry stuff. I was a little more poetic, and that's what people liked about it. But I got a lot of flack for that as well. So on Got Lyrics, we just wanted to spit. We just wanted, like, me and Print talked about it. It was like, yo, let's just spit some bars. You know what I'm saying? So Got Lyrics was that joint that was just about spitting. You know what I mean? So I'm going to play y'all a little snippet of the joint Got Lyrics. What up, Matt? I'm going to play you a little snippet of the joint Got Lyrics from, actually, I'm going to play the introduction. And me and Prem were clowning when we did this introduction. We were just, you know, having some fun. Like I said, this was a weekend. At this time, I was smoking a lot of weed. I was heavy on the weed smoke back then. And, you know, smoking a lot of weed, doing a lot of writing, and we was just wilding out. So I'll play the intro, and then that'll go into Got Lyrics, and we'll talk about Got Lyrics after this is over. Word.
Everybody to hear. Yeah, what up? What up? This is Illogic. Blueprint. Columbus, Ohio. Word. About to serve cats.
And if you listen to the background, Prince says third album. He doesn't say second album. He says third album.
They can't touch us. Weightless.
I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back so y'all can hear that. Because Print actually says third album. Because this was the third album. Celestial was already done.
Blueprint. Columbus, Ohio. Word. About to
third album, says it in the background.
Showing them the skills that we possess. They ain't got nothing.
I was just talking shit.
They can't touch us. Weightless in the house.
Talking mad shit.
This is is a little ditty.
Little
Called-
ditty.
Got lyrics. Showing cats that
What up,
I got
Carlos?
skills to rock. Blow the spot, no doubt. Can't fuck with my loops, man. They
ain't got nothing on the beats.
They ain't got nothing on the rhymes.
They ain't got nothing on the rhymes.
Ain't got nothing on the crew.
Weightless.
It's Kabibbles.
Yeah, so here's Got Lyrics. This was actually the first song that I wrote. The intro was actually only supposed to be an intro for this song, not for the whole album. We didn't have a name for the album yet.
Yo, got lyrics.
And I just wanted to show cats I had the skill to rock.
Yeah. I'm resting in the arms of a phoenix flame. Watching every grain that builds a wall of hourglass. Toxin. As sun sets in horizon seek. Boxed in. Where liquid meets land, hands of sky and sand. Locked in. A gator grip, so singing the hand slip was shocking. The last poem seated on the brink of flesh. Rocking. This shows that every labyrinth has its thin line. Whether between moon glow and sunshine. A classic rhyme, a listed punchlines. Weightless, 4 hearts in 1 mind. Metaphorically popping the clutch 3 in crunch time.
What up,
I
Lucky
laugh
Charm
at the
in the
laughing
house?
stock that drop share value. When you hit the stage, I'll stare as the crowd boos. You lose your lunch. Though you ain't ate since breakfast. Didn't add study ill stage presence to your checklist. I'm sick of these mad-hatted Pinocchio schemes. So I play Geppetto using your veins as puppet strings. I'm lost on the cusp of the crust of my sanity. The thrust of a wind gust just overthrew my canopy. I met the earth's flesh. It was a worthless greeting. So I embraced the comfort of the soil. Now I'm sleeping. Everything is
Yeah, so that's Got Lyrics, man. Like, that was the first song that I wrote for this album. And like I said before, like the intro, your album kept me awake on a 13-hour road trip. Word. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Want a digital copy of Right to Death Volume 1? I don't know. I got to talk to some people about that. You know what I'm saying? Before I make that happen. I got to talk to a couple people to see if that could happen. But yeah, so why is this not playing? Oh. So yeah, like what's up with my music? Why is it not? What's going on? Oh, okay, here we go. So yeah, so the first song that I wrote for Got Lyrics was the song Got Lyrics. And oh, word, your wife introduced you to my music. That's dope. That's dope. With this album, I appreciate that, man. So Got Lyrics was the first song that I wrote to this, for this project. And like I said, like the introduction was actually an introduction just for that song, not necessarily for the entire album. And, we just thought that Got Lyrics, once we finished the album, and for those that have heard the album, once we finished the album, we just thought that was an apt title for the record because I was basically just spitting. It was all bars, I was still doing me. And it wasn't nearly as poetic as Celestial, wasn't nearly as, subdued as Unforeseen, because Unforeseen was still Prince's earlier production. And he was still on an EPS. Actually, Got Lyrics was one of the earlier records that Prince made when he got his first MPC. So that's why it's a lot of chops, a lot of stutters, a lot of those things in the record. And the song Got Lyrics, like, I'm resting in the arms of a phoenix flame, watching every grain that builds a wall of hourglass toxins. Sunsets in horizon seat boxed in. Liquid meets land, hands of sky and sand locked in. A gated grip, so seeing the hand slip was shocking. Like, I was just on some poetic, like, hardcore shit, though. Like the shit that I was... everything that I was doing was based off of, just slaughtering MCs, but doing it in my way. I think Got Lyrics was where I really started to get comfortable with my style. And I made sure that was felt crazy throughout the entire record. So the next joint on the album is one of the songs that has become a classic of mine. I can't do a show without performing this song. Shout out to my man DJ Prism, rest in peace. This was one of those that he enjoyed performing as well, just because he got to do the cuts for Stop Lying from the Dougie Fresh joint. But Stop Lying was like when I had the beat for Stop Lying, and when that song was recorded, we knew we had something special with that song too. And that's part of why we didn't go with much, because in the time of creating these albums, we were just on fire. You know, like everything that we were touching at the time was fucking gold, you know? And so when I wrote Stop Lying, after, you know, like we recorded it, and just from the raw recording of it, we knew it was something special, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get into Stop Lying, and, you know, play a little bit of that, and we can talk about it when we come back. Word up.
Yeah.
This beat is so dope. Still so dope. It even bumps when I perform it.
Illogic.
Blueprint.
Yo, it's like, if your mother saw you now, would she be pleased or disgusted at your choice to remain at the bottom of the bucket? Your fellow crabs, they know that you're not to be trusted, cause when they rise to the top, you do what you can to make them plummet. On the other hand, I stand with the mic stands posture, scan under my bed to sever the heads of any monsters. Took a dive into the eye of Jupiter, the backstroke through lava, relaxing with a car in the cancer sticks and flavor Java. And if you noticed, I've scripted my existence on these pages with obesity that leaves stretch marks on stages. If knowledge is the key to society, shackles and cages, I guess you're forever trapped in syntax and shoelaces. I rock the crowd like I'm without sin, so I cast the first stone. Though I live in a glass house insulated with quilted poems, stay still to the loan with head above water, melodic poems from vibrato left speakers when emitted through microphones. Every line is a spear, every fan's hard to target, every circle's not a sphere, every soldier's not a sergeant. If every fountain is clear, then every sniper is a marksman. You can't win, so stop trying. You're not ill, so stop lying. Every check doesn't cash, every scale doesn't balance, every verse doesn't lie, every skill's not a talent, every question's not asked, every test doesn't challenge. You can't win, so stop trying. You're not ill, so stop lying.
Yeah, man, Stop Lying was one of those joints, man. Stop Lying was definitely one of those joints. You know what I'm saying? Been rocking this album still, but yeah, man, like this album was just really, really crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, and that's what I'm saying about we knew that we had something special with what we were creating at the time, to where that we didn't feel like a couple $1,000s advance was enough, you know, to warrant giving this album away and giving the rights away to somebody else. And you know, like, and Stop Lying was basically, you know, just a call out to all the MCs in the world, you know, like, stop lying about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not dope. You're not as good as you say you are. You know, just give it up already. You know what I'm saying? And it was definitely some crazy underground shit. I mean, this album came out in 2002, I want to say. 2002, this album came out. And, you know, the underground was still budding. You know what I'm saying? Waitlist was new. Rhyme Sayers was new. Def Jux didn't exist yet. And, you know, we were creating something special. Anacon was coming into their own. And there was a lot of things bubbling in the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And shout out Carlos. Word, 21 listening to my music, man. I appreciate it, man. And thank you for being proud of me. That's dope, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm proud of myself, and I thank all of you guys that's been supporting me throughout the years. But yeah, so at the time that this came out, you know, we were still bubbling. Everything was still bubbling. We were still doing our first shows out of Ohio. We were, you know, traveling to, you know, everywhere in Ohio. We were going to Cleveland. We were going to Canton, Ohio, places that people didn't go. We were going to Dayton. We were going to OU. We were going to Cincinnati. We were going to Toledo. We were going to all of the spots, you know what I'm saying, in Ohio. And then we got to start to, spread out a little bit. And we started hitting Chicago. We started hitting Indianapolis. We started hitting, Pittsburgh, you know what I'm saying, like Kentucky. We started branching out a little bit because we were doing something new and we had our own sound. And, at the time, I was the flagship artist of Weightless. I was basically, what Sluggish to Rhymesayers now and always has been. I was that for Weightless. So, when my albums were dropping, it was making everything easier and better for Weightless, for my record label. And we continued to push out those joints, and Blueprint was coming into his own as as a producer, and really grasping the art. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the Unforeseen beats were a lot of Blueprint's first beats. You know what I'm saying? I clocked a lot of miles, but yeah, you did, Sean. What up, Sean? My cousin in the house. Yeah, he used to take me back and forth. When I lived in Cincinnati, he was coming down there all the time. And yeah, man, like, he clocked a lot of hours, you know what I'm saying, hanging out, sleeping on Blueprint's couch, because he had a 1-bedroom apartment. It was 1BR Studios. If you look at the old CDs for Unforeseen and the first Greenhouse project, 1BR Studios, that was Blueprint's apartment or house. It was a house, but it was like a double. And but yeah, like, we were doing something special, and we were doing something new, and a lot of cats were starting to grab hold of it and see that what was on TV that people call hip hop, you know what I'm saying, like, it wasn't all that was available to them, and we were starting to speak to a different generation. And yeah, Hempfest 2007, yeah, crowd sucked, yeah. But so we gonna keep it moving with one of my favorite joints. And I've gotten flack for this song because a lot of people initially thought it was a diss song when I put out this record, just because of all the names that I was using. But, just to let you know, it was not a diss record. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was coming into my own and meeting a lot of friends and meeting a lot of hip hop friends. And I thought it would just be dope to put all their names in one song. So, that's when I came up with the name game. And it's one of my favorite songs on the album, and I love performing this song. And, shout out to everybody who I mentioned. Some of the cats ain't with us no more. Some of the cats, don't rhyme no more. A lot of the crews don't exist. But, this joint definitely is one of those that, when I listen to it, it brings me back. So let's get into the name game. Word. And this beat is so crazy. I love this beat. This shit pounds in the club when I perform. Iska Bibbles. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. Subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah, I gathered the basic elements to be seen as a rhyme sayer. A date raper of phono sluts lured into my layer. MC Slayer, handle you with my cannibal ox cutters. As weightlessness erases elevator, music lovers, a letter person. The last straws dispersing the spitball. A nomad, lone catalyst, sparked activist pitfalls. It's all a fable. As Aesop who rocks the blockheads with fast air in lungs, breath control, electroshocks the brain dead. With a few billion megahertz, my company close conductive. Infringe on your atmosphere with criticism constructive. Disrupt your shine when prism segregates it in a rainbow. Throwing eclipse over your hip-hop and spitting the same flow. Blueprints manifest the drainage of the inkwell. My superpowers are empowered to please the fit this paint swell. If you got nice, throw it, sell. My LP, you can tell that I'm anti-convince you rip lyrics well. Now you should have an idea about my abilities. Giving you the sweetest taboo when I speak instantly. Into the wind, the breeze is pulling me, smothered in bliss. To wherever diss that I throw you is in the form of a high haiku. Now you're under siege, can you fathom the depth of this phantom menace that's kept on eggshells with each step? I rock steady, leave any crowd shell shocked that's not ready. Let go, cast the spell, gripping the third rail of the metro. The way that I flip the page, a cedar on stage, you'll think Dominique was possessed by a speed demon enraged. My structure has three members, mind, soul, and physical. Mental holds the lyrical, depending on the ozone from the low zone. How I turn tables is drastic on labels that have elastic deals. Pop a slug in the grill for ignoring my true skills. What you do? I pop a slug in the grill for ignoring my true skills.
True skills. Yeah, man, that joint. I love that freaking song. I love that song. Definitely love that song. One of my favorites. Let's see. Remember the name posted, Cannibal Ox Cutters in quotes. Would have been something special if you had done a one brick equivalent on the Cold Vein. It would have been, you know what I'm saying? But you know, those were my dudes at the time. And you know, when I first met Cannibal Ox, you know, just to give a little history, when Cannibal Ox first came to Columbus, Papa Slug in the Grill, yeah. When Cannibal Ox first came to Columbus, they were already like midway through recording Cold Vein, and we had all just met. So, you know, like me and Aesop had, you know, we were kindred spirits. So we got really close really quick. And, you know, I started to hang out with the other cats, you know, a little more later. But so we never got, you know, to the point where we were recording, where I was going to be on their record. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hold on. About to give y'all some. Had to skip that. There's a little, you know, little demos that I ain't ready to present to the world yet. You know what I mean? But yeah. So I wish, you know, it would have been nice to be on Cold Vein. That would have been awesome. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it wasn't time yet. But yeah, like the name game, I got a little bit of flack, like I was saying, because you know, cats thought I was dissing. You know, because I was mentioning a whole bunch of names, almost like, you know, Kendrick's Controverse a little bit back then. But, you know, I was just happy that I had friends in hip hop, and I had friends that were dope, and I wanted to mention them. I wanted to say their names for people who were listening to my music, because I had a little following at the time after Unforeseen. I wanted people to know the names of my friends, you know what I'm saying? Know the names of my cats that I was doing music with. And, you know, that was the you know, consensus behind doing Name Game and doing it the way that I did it. But, you know, that was one of my favorite songs, and still is, you know, to perform. And, you know, I love performing that song a lot. But yeah, Got Lyrics was an interesting time for us, because it was us trying to find what, you know, if we could recreate the magic. Like I said, like Unforeseen was hitting, and you know, people wanted to hear more Illogic, more Blueprint beats, you know what I'm saying? So it was just us trying to recreate the magic. And you know, we did Name Game, and you know, it was something about, you know, the way that this album was coming together. It was straight boom bap. It was a lot more boom bap than Unforeseen, because Unforeseen, you know, was a lot more fluid samples, was a lot more full loops, and this was definitely more chops, more, you know, break beat kind of drums. And you know, it was just more about us hitting that stride with this record. So, you know, and that's where the next song came in, the next joint that is on the album, called Pure Form. And you know, we just thought that this album was, you know, kind of paying homage to the pure form of hip hop, and we wanted, you know, everybody to take part in it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna hit y'all with a little snippet of Pure Form.
Yeah, it's the pure form that flows through my bloodstream. The pure form, only the pure form, only the pure form flows through my bloodstream. Only the pure form, the pure form, the pure form, the pure form, only the pure form. It's the pure form that flows through my bloodstream. The pure form, the pure form, the pure form. This is virtual rhyme, capture time in my poem. Drinking poison I find, hope I fly before I fall. Lie in the coffin of the crowd, often the sound of muses until the toxins spill. Contaminate the mainstream of the river skill. Real is an after inkling, shrinking weaklings to afterthoughts. Encased in frost, debating between whether waiting or paying the cost. Lost on the threshold of the next masterpiece in the flesh. Released as the tapestry, master defeat that reflection conceit. I'm stuck between this rock and the horizon, looking for a kaleidoscope to climb in. I'm in celestial state, impeccable rate of dissecting you spread. Internal organs in northern mountains and jarring your head. Crashing this planet into that forest, fashionless, more hungry than the poorest. Third world activists for exposure. You get the picture, it's in the greater film I discovered, not the arrangements of the scenery changes. Cover my lids and step one step at a rhyme. Left to define the slope of this incline that I'm inclined to travel. Separating the burgers from the cattle herders, the facing slurs of battle searches. Cracking holes in tractor beams, act to seem stagnant. Surges of liquid life lunging towards your jugular. Choke, store hope under your blanket along with a flashlight. Strong liquor guzzle to erase a bad night. Last night I left right to embrace the hype. A juice in the lime, hoping the dripping lemon can shed light. It's the pure form.
It's the pure form.
Bloodstream, the pure form. Only the pure form.
Only the pure form.
Flows through my bloodstream. Only the pure form. The pure form.
Yeah, man. Like that the beat was so raw, and it was just, just straight like straight piano. You know what I'm saying? And the chops were like beautiful. Word, Jason. Yeah, like some of these beats are going to end up on my next album. I've already written a few of them. But I've been working hard. Now we need a digital copy of Off the Clock first. That's not really my call. You know what I'm saying? Like I got Off the Clock actually up on my Bandcamp. And it's free. It's a free download. Because I didn't want to, be making money off of Prism's name and not be able to, at least give the money to his daughter. Because I don't have the access, so I, give it away for free. But we can talk to DJ Paz too, maybe, Bruley, and see if we can get Off the Clock up on streaming services. But, let's continue the Got Lyrics journey. So Pure Form was really just me flexing and think about it, like listening to these songs. I wrote this stuff in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like this is when we was on fire. This is when we could do no wrong. I have to talk to a couple people too about Right to Death Volume 1, getting that up on streaming services as well. We can make it happen. But yeah, like this is like within 3 to 4 days, where these songs were written and recorded. And, like I said, like the reason that this joint did not come out on Mush, even though that's why we were doing it, was because we knew we had something special. We were catching lightning in a bottle when we were recording these songs. And, it just continued and continued and continued with everything that we were doing, and it was crazy because I think me and Blueprint were amazed at each other at this time because of the quality of what we were making happen, of the quality of what we were doing. And yeah, it was just a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing. So right now we're going to take a small intermission, and I want to let everybody know that I want to thank all the cats that have been checking out my YouTube channel with the new videos and all of that. I hit over 1,000 followers. I hit 1,000 subscribers. So in celebration of my 1,000 subscribers, I'm doing a giveaway of a copy of Autopilot on vinyl. You get a copy of Autopilot on vinyl and a CD and a poster signed by yours truly. The way that you can win this, and I'm gonna detail things out a little better. I'm gonna, start this, take care of this next week. But the way that you can do this, the way that you can win your copy is to subscribe to the channel first and foremost, and then you have to share the channel on your social media and tag Illogic Beats and B-Sides in your post. That way I can see it. And on Black Friday, next Friday, I will choose a winner, and I'll hook up with you, get your address and everything, and ship you out a copy of Autopilot vinyl, and you get a CD, and you get some stickers, and you get a copy of the vinyl, the CD, and some stickers. Work. So, yeah. So we're gonna keep it moving. The next song on Got Lyrics is definitely a favorite of mine as well. And the funny thing about this song is this is when Blueprint first really was getting into producing around my voice a little more, because Figment of My Concentration was not exactly how I recorded to it. He actually chopped up my verses and made it move a little differently because I recorded it all as one piece, and Print chopped it up and created what has become Figment of My Concentration, which is why I never perform it, because I don't know it well enough in the new form, even after all these years, to get it out on stage. It's crazy. Shout out to Carlos. You can send me one of my paintings. Send me one of your paintings. I definitely will hang it up in the studio, and we'll have it on the stream, and I'll shout you out. Hit me up in Facebook Messenger, and I can give you my address, and we can make that happen. But yeah, Figment of My Concentration was actually not recorded the way that it came out on the album. It was actually chopped up, and if you listen to the vocals, you can hear where the vocals are chopped in certain places, and that's an interesting little tidbit of some behind the scenes action for Figment of My Concentration. But we're gonna get into that, and I'm gonna play a little snippet of that joint, and we'll come back and talk about that a little more. Word. I hope y'all are enjoying this. I haven't listened to this album in a long time, so this is like really cool for me to really kind of relive some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, here we go.
Can you even attempt to handle the manhandling, hook grappling, channel change, strange happenings, rearranged and tackling? Refrain from acting, cause I'm back smacking the whack rapping who lack backing, while against the grain, ills traveling constantly. Still brain freeze like rapidly eating ice milk, voice of silk, I spilled across blueprinted melodies, swallowing contents of continents, feeding from my Columbus following, using consonants and vowels, in a laced and omnipotent styles, but you talk, I allow my vowels during movements. Who went to levitate crowds from the ground roots? I down stoop and speak facially, vocally embrace the fake who be nice in my presence, but talk a distaste of me and the comforts of my shadow. So battle and find your feminine side. Get in touch with it, cause you're showing you're in the most rip blowing from the masculine attain.
Yeah, I didn't record it like this.
Be sure to grab your umbrella when it rains, and I'll make sure I explain how you don't want to strain the ions in your chain. Platinum, some mine gray metal with my stiletto bond. I'll start your growth by botany magic. Host to the parasitic, tragic, no frills. See, ill has no time to add water to your chia skills. See the deals? Grab hold and swing for a lifetime. It starts to shake and shiver whenever my hand the mic finds, cause it knows it's safe and the flows are great. Loves the verbal intake as we stand and wait, plan waits for the ballers who deflate. Accompanied by hot air balloon suppliers, liars who think hip hop, some play in which they're playing their part, killing art for the sport of it. You sure sure to quit when I expose you like a confidence. To refute your nonsense with a comment in my eyes is an accomplishment. For your action, there's a consequence, and I'm inflicting punishment. Ripping some cunning spit, you're backtracking, slacking off. You're one of those kids who turns their head and cough, letting some old man fondle you while you sit solemnly in the windowsill. Your little shield won't protect you, yet you attempt to block the shockwaves. I got slaves who picks the crowds out the face. I'm resting in the arms of a dream.
Yeah, like, so if you listen to it, like, even if you listen to, you know, like the end of each verse before it goes into the have mercy and the horns, you know, break out, you can hear my breath, you know what I'm saying, like kind of cut off. And Blueprint basically edited the first verse into 2 parts and put those breaks in because there was no hook when I originally recorded it. And there was no hook when I originally recorded it. So it was really wild once I heard it because, you know, I didn't create the song that way. And the second verse, I believe, is broken up into like 3 or 4 different parts that break down in different ways. And, you know, this is when Print was really getting into that, like, I'm gonna produce, you know, like producing around, because he had already done Celestial, so he had already like broke into that realm of producing around my vocals and around my verses. And, you know, so this was just another, you know, step further in that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like that joint was probably one of my favorites just because of the creativity in, you know, Blueprint producing it and what he did to it, you know, from how it was when I actually recorded it. Like that was an amazing thing for me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but we gonna keep it oh man, I'm burping. I got like mad gas in my chest area, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna keep it moving. Too Many Times was actually a poem that I wrote. And it wasn't necessarily, a lot of my songs back then, you know, like started out as poems, especially the more poetic ones, the ones that were a little more abstract, a little more out there. And Too Many Times actually was a poem that I had written. And, you know, once I heard this beat, I was like going through my notebooks and like, you know, because I was writing a lot of the album. And, you know, when Print would play me a beat, it's like, okay, let me see if I have something. And if I didn't have something, I would write. So, you know, like 90% of this was written, you know, like crazy. And word up, this album is insane. Your catalog has been in rotation with Aesop and Cryptic for the last 3 weeks. I appreciate that, Damien. Appreciate that a lot. But yeah, like, so Too Many Times was actually a poem. It started out that way. And, you know, I found a way to spit it over this beat that Print made. And, you know, the how it turned out, you know, it's history. Here we go.
Too many times I've cried, piercing droplets, stabbing hobbits, lurking in the murky depths of conscience without a clue. I continue to spew chunks of MC lunch on the crowds of paper that gather at the base of my pen. Grab the forbidden fruit and taste it again. Hug the tree of life twice, so in a sense am I embracing sin, wading in the waters of a wasted emotion, encased in a token I place on a pedestal, receiving standing ovation from mezzanine to the vestibule and the balcony next to you, heckling life for a price,
Heckling life for a price.
Down shadows to be boxed and shipped to consumers. Rest my head on pillows to fumigate the spread of rumors. A virus of the highest form. Infect the social mainframe. Life and death, the parallel states of exist but lack the same name. Do I have to metamorph my identity to change things? But those that stay sane are inferior. Ironic like dissension only elevators. With
those that
verbs and
stay
nouns and
sane
sounds,
are
I'm an
inferior.
intelligent decorator of mindscape. While you people are just fish that can't swim, drowning in rhymes lake. Y'all can't swim, drowning in rhymes lake. Too many times I cloak my ideals. Too many times I let down my shield. Too many times I fell from this tree, not knowing what was under me and just crushed an MC. Too many times I went towards the light. Too many times I destroyed the mic. Too many times my life has been open.
Because I couldn't be seen until the stained glass was broken. Yeah, that joint is crazy, and I think it's the only song on the album that has 3 verses as well. I think it's the only one that has 3 verses, and that's because it was a really long poem that I wrote. And you know, the premise of the song is really just about learning lessons, but you know, getting annoyed with learning lessons. You know, after a while, once you do things so many times, you know, it's like, I gotta do this again. You know, like too many times I've cried piercing droplets, stabbing hobbits, lurking in the murky depths of conscious without a clue. And this is when I was going through a lot of depression as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's, you know, too many times I've cried piercing droplets, stabbing hobbits, lurking in the murky depths of my conscious without a clue. Like not knowing that they're in there, but they're causing so much friction and so much trouble in my mind. So this song was more of a release, you know, and talking about the things that I've been going through and getting tired of going through the same things over and over and over again, and really looking for that release and looking for, you know, that escape, and, you know, wanting to live my life and wanting to be regular, wanting to be a regular human being. You know what I'm saying? Because depression was really hard for me, you know, going through that. Especially, you know, as you listen to a song like Hate in a Puddle, or even the entire Celestial Clockwork album for the most part is very subdued, it's very down, it's very down tempo, because I was in a very dark place when I did a lot of my music in my earlier parts of my career. So there's a lot of little tidbits about dealing with depression and trying to become the man that I thought I was supposed to be, and trying to become the man that God had put me here to be. And, you know, so there's a lot of little tidbits in a lot of my early music, and even my music now, you know, about becoming that man and, you know, trying to stay that man. So, you know, there's a lot of little things, you know what I'm saying? If you listen to my music and you really break it down, there's a lot of little things about, you know, little tidbits about me that will allow you, you know, to have a little peek into my psyche. And, you know, one of the things my wife used to tell me a lot is, you know, especially when we first were married, that she thought my fans knew me better than she did, just because of how much I shared with you guys. And, you know, when we were earlier in our marriage, you know, she would tell me, and this was later on, I didn't know this at the time, but later on in our marriage, she would tell me that in the beginning of our marriage, she would find my writings, because I wrote in notebooks. I had a lot of notebooks back then. We didn't have phones that had notepads and things. So I had actual notebooks. And she, in order to understand what I was going through, because I didn't talk a lot, I was very, you know, kind of to myself. And in order to understand what I was going through, or, you know, where my mind was at the time, she would read my writing to understand me, you know, and get to know who I was, because we were young when we got married, and we were going through a lot of things that we weren't ready for. And I wrote everything down, you know, like I wrote all of my thoughts down, whether it was poetry, whether it was in rhymes, whether it was just, you know, journaling. I wrote everything in my little notebooks. And she told me later on in our marriage that, you know, she would go to check my notebooks, you know, every week, once a week or so, to see where I was and how I was feeling. And, you know, if I wrote anything about her, if I wrote anything about our children, if I wrote anything about our future, like she, you know, so that was kind of how I communicated with her unknowingly, is through my writing back then. So, you know, it's very interesting. If you are a writer, a lot of people, you know, that try to get to know you, let them read your writing. You know, I know it's personal. I know it's, you know, something that we like to keep close to the vest. And a lot of people, you know, I write for me. I don't write for people to hear it. You know, that's not for, you know, public consumption, whatever. But if you're, you know, someone's important to you, and you're, you know, kind of a self, you know, keep to myself kind of person, if someone's really trying to get to know you, allow them to read your writing, and they'll start to understand you a little better. because a lot of times we can't verbalize a lot of the things that we're feeling, but if we're writers, we can write them down and we can pour our emotions out on the paper. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna keep it moving before I get too deep. And we're gonna move on to Day by Day. Day by Day is possibly my favorite song on this album. Possibly my favorite song on this album. Just the mood of it, and this beat, you know, kind of brought some things out of me that, and the vocal sample and everything. Print kind of put his foot in this, and, you know, I was extremely happy that, you know, I was the one that got to rap over this beat. So Day by Day, let's get it. This song, I'm kind of talking to myself. It's kind of a self-reflection song.
Slow down, you're moving too fast. Pump your brakes. Embed you in sound with sort of the impression that lightning makes. Hands clash with Zeus at Olympus peak with cracking force. So each plucked bow and arrow slung towards the torch passing. And cancer stick lashing, performed by the carton. Butt by butt, cigarette burns emotion till placing ashes in the urn. Cast stones over the riverbed to watch the ripple spread to the liquid crystal's edge. With candy-coated fantasy tips the pixels head. Now how many licks does it take to get to the center of the surreal? Diamond cluster punctures the surface of glass shields. And dreams turn a backdrop of a gauntlet of haunted stages. Rages the cash crop filled with patience grace. Lifting every voice to sing. Fumbles every ear that listens. To ensure that I'll get my roasted pigeon with all the fixins. Famished heart muscle swallows the clock of ages. Countdown with each pound. I feel my future ticking away.
Ticking away.
Only a second separates tomorrow from the day. I'm
still searching through the stack of needles for a strand of hay.
I'm nauseous. My cup runneth over with fable talking on some tortoise in the hair bliss. Y'all kamikaze pilots rocking helmets. Every nosedive attempt to fate. And ascension turns ascension on the stairway to heaven's gate. Where an angel waits, wielding a sword that bore the phoenix flame. He scanned the book of life 7 times and didn't see your name. Day by day, I'm falling on.
Yeah, man. Like that song was super important because it was, you know, like this was after Hating a Puddle. This was, you know, actually after writing I Wish He Would Make Me as well, you know, because, you know, if we go back to what I was saying in the beginning, that this was actually my third album, you know, not my second. So, you know, this was like still trying to get to that point of being okay, you know, still trying to get to that point of being okay with myself. So, you know, famished heart muscle swallows the clock of ages, count down with each pound. I feel my future ticking away, knowing only a second separates tomorrow from today. I'm still searching through the stack of needles for a strand of hay. Like I was still looking for, you know, life in everything that I was doing. I was still looking for something to make me feel okay because I was still in Cincinnati and dealing with, you know, the reason that I went to Cincinnati in the first place for college is, you know, because my father, I grew up with my stepfather, which I consider my father, but my actual father was in jail basically my whole life when I was younger. And my family is from Cincinnati, his family is from Cincinnati. So I went to the University of Cincinnati to try to build a relationship with him and still was rejected, you know, still was rejected in trying to do that. So that brought on more depression. And out of that is where Hating a Puddle came from. Out of that is where songs like Day by Day came from. Out of that is where songs like Live to Die came from. Out of all of that depression, out of all of that trying to write myself better. You know, that's basically what I was doing in a lot of my writing back then, trying to write myself okay. And, you know, because I felt like I was given the gift of writing in order to make myself okay, in order to not, you know, look for the easy way out, which, you know, like to taking my own life. And, you know, I've had those thoughts. I've had those times. The night that I wrote Egg in a Puddle, I was standing on my balcony thinking about jumping off, and I wrote that song because I was so depressed. And that song kind of delivered me from, you know, thinking that that was the only solution, because I had an outlet, and everyone doesn't have that same outlet. And, you know, I constantly pray for people in those situations where they don't have an outlet and they feel like that's their only way out, but there's always another way. But I don't want to get too deep, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give you guys some insight on my state of mind when I wrote a lot of these songs, especially the more introspective ones and the ones that are more about me, because I write for me first. You know, I believe that the gift that I was given to me for me. And, you know, it just so happens that I'm not the only one. And I, you know, offer my gift to the world to let you guys realize and know that you're not the only one either that goes through things. So we're going to continue moving. And the next joint, this is my wife's favorite song, actually. This is like my wife's favorite song of my career, I think. You know, other than songs that are about her. But I think like this is my wife's definite favorite joint. And this joint is Screenplay. Screenplay was written as a parody of what life was at the time. And this was back in 2000, 2002, 2001, 2002. And it was written as a parody, like life's all a screenplay. Everybody's actors, everybody's extras, you know, actors and extras, you know, like you're the main actor in your own story. You know, everybody else is extras and God is the director. And, you know, this script that is written, you never really understand it. You never really know. You're making it up as you're going along. You're ad-libbing. So it was almost a parody about, you know, existing at the time. And, you know, it's probably one of my favorites that I've written. But, yeah, Screenplay. Here we go. And this beat is nuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking to you from a typical American home in Hyannisport, Massachusetts. Since January of 1960, this family of smiling and happy people have undergone a change. You might say they've been engaged in a new and different type of experiment. Sir, as head of this average family, what was this new experience undergone by you and the members of your household?
There's heights I wanna reach, but I lack the wingspan and direction to execute the use of canvas, seat, and brush hand. Conglomerates of flesh monuments wade in shallow pools of drool, hovering slightly above the surface of inertia's pedestal. Pigeon on a quest to lay to rest this pushing full mission, placing pen and pad on the altar to at least have my tools christened. How can you be content with jugular snub? Think it's bugged that I'd rather be the noose than the owner of the naked hugs. I practice killing thoughts by tossing brains into a tub filled with diluted blood. Dropping the radio and slept unplugged till minds muffled. Traumatized eyes on death's entrance. A step beyond human comprehension. But even angels have limits. Paradise is the other side of the door. I'm looking for a portal. I'll only leave this earthly coil when time reminds me that I'm mortal. Until then, I remain weightless, and y'all can stay weighed down. Despite all the faces, I continue to cade sound. The orphanage is an oasis of overturned ground. For words to blossom from pages, I gotta hit the stage now. The evidence of evolution in music sets a precedent for muses, uninspired by the snares and the snares of Medusa's hair. Useless rhyme jargon equals lavishness, lavishness lethal. Drink, think before you park, cause accidents cause people. Don't be mad cause I focused on accuracy for the sequel.
Yeah, man, Screenplay. If you drink, think before you park because accidents cause people. Oh, what was I doing? You know what I'm saying? What was I doing? I was on one back then. I was on some craziness, you know? Actually, I don't have any copies of the vinyl. Well, I have one copy and it's my personal copy. I have one personal copy. I mean, if you look on Discogs, I mean, it's out there. At some point, I'm going to, you know, try to repress all of my albums, but that takes time and money. So, you know, I'll do my best to try. I appreciate that, Midsight. I appreciate that, yo. But yeah, so we're gonna keep moving. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, screenplay was like a parody, you know what I'm saying, of just about life. You know, if you drink, think before you park because accidents cause people. I always thought that line was so clever and so funny. Always thought that line was so funny. But so we gonna keep it moving, and like the last song on the album is Break Bread with my man Blueprint. And this was a joint where we was just like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's break bread over this beat, and we just going, you know, like spit some rawness, and you know, none of the, you know, heavenly cotton balls, you know what I'm saying, as Print would call my style. He always told me I had that heavenly cotton ball style. But yeah, man, this album is amazing, and I really am glad, you know, you guys are still rocking with me in 19 years, man, 19 years. So we gonna, you know, I'm gonna throw a little bit of Break Bread on, and I don't know if, I think my verse is first or maybe Prince verse is first, but yeah, just give y'all a little taste of that, and then you know, we gonna dive into this new video, you know what I'm saying, since y'all stuck with me. You know, we're going to dive into this new video and give y'all a little taste of what's coming on Monday for the rest of the people, you know. But let's hit Break Bread real quick.
Raggers and shit. Cat's mask. Can't trust it.
Can't trust it.
Yo, what's up, Neil? What's up, Brent? I figure we bring it boom back, you know? Boom back to the stage. Rough and rugged, not none of that art gallery shit.
Call it art gallery shit.
Motherfuckers' heads. I brought rhymes to the table, and everybody made space, divided it accordingly, and Blueprint said grace. I brought beats to the table, and everybody made space, divided it accordingly. Illogic said grace. I brought rhymes to the table, and everybody made space, divided it accordingly, and Blueprint said grace. I brought beats to the table, and everybody made space, divided it accordingly. Illogic said grace. Illogic said grace.
Oh yeah, my verse is first.
Illogic said grace. I'm no longer tickled by you fickle fabrications of simple exhortations, calculated with nonsense, actually elevated now that I'm weightless, no longer lost in you flossing with your teeth of a greenish tint. I've been rhyming since time and energy held hands, and you just had your first session last week, but you nice.
But you
Asking
nice.
to do a song with ill and I hope to flex and skill,
Last
but
week.
your vocals won't come out right, cause it's your second time at a mic. What the hell is he doing?
What the hell is he
Brent, the way
doing?
these cats flow whack and wanna act like they're not feeling me, claiming I make up words and that I'm too abstract, cause I expand vocab in the lab and barely spit a simile. I'm trying to take hip-hop to places it's never been, like your mom's deck, instead of having your sister hold me in her dreams. With your grandma at my show, rocking my shirt, and your pops asking to use your copy of Unforeseen, cause I dropped the fly-ish. Like an eagle smuggling illegal substance in bowels, fumbling droppings. You already receiving hate mail from labels telling you whack, never catching a hint. You continue to keep shopping, they just don't get it. They need to be served on the finest china, with a tall glass of fresh wine squeezed from the grapes of with rap, a linoleum tablecloth, and their raps as napkins till they can listen to their own whack rapping and laugh. I brought beats to the table, and everybody made space.
Yeah. So a funny thing about that song, and a line in that song, when I said, claiming they're not feeling me, saying I make up words and that I'm too abstract because I expand vocab in the lab and barely spit a simile. You know, rest in peace. But that line was directed at Guru. A lot of people don't know this. And I told this story on an interview that I did. I don't know if, you guys checked out the interview that I did with creatives with my man Haiku with Toby Braswell. But that line was directed at Guru because back in the day, this was probably early, late 90s, like 98, 99. I went to a show. It was called the Smoke and Grooves Tour. And it was a dope ass, my first concert. It was the Fugees, Outkast, Gangstar, Busta Rhymes, Cypress Hill, George Clinton, I think was Rhythm, and Snoop Dogg, I want to say. And, we were walking around and there was a cypher next to Gangstar's merch table. And, you know, I jumped in the cypher, and this is when I was a freestyle dude. So I was coming off the head, and Guru stopped me in the middle of my freestyle and told me that I used too many big words and walked away from the cypher. I was hurt. I was upset. You know what I'm saying? Like I was tight. I was tight about it. But it didn't stop me, obviously. You know what I'm saying? It made me, you know, expand a little more. And every time I listen to, every time I hear that line, you know, I think about that moment. But, you know, shout out to, you know, Guru, rest in peace. Shout out to Primo. And, you know, I'm just grateful that I got to experience, you know, Gangstar live when Guru was still here. But I always thought that was crazy. So yeah, that's the last joint of the album. Now, you know, for a lot of the peoples, after that, there is like maybe a 10-minute session where I say poems a cappella. And at the time, I was a big poet. I was big on poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry, and these were songs, these were poems that, you know, I didn't want to rhyme. I wanted to, you know, make sure that cats heard. So if you have an original copy of Got Lyrics, the poems are, I believe all of the poems are written on the fold out on the inside. So if you know, you don't have the actual CD, you don't have the words to those poems. But yeah, you know, like that poetry piece was something different, something new. Something that a lot of cats hadn't done. You know, it was just something crazy special. And it was something that that I wanted to do. And Print was just like, you know, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's throw it on there. Let's, you know, let cats hear it. So we did that. And, you know, we thought it was a fitting end to, you know, the beautiful project that we had created. And now, a lot of you know, and I'm gonna get to the video, but a lot of you that may not have the vinyl, because there was only 1,000 copies of the vinyl made, or maybe 500 actually. And but on the vinyl only, there was a song with A$AP Rock that was produced by Blockhead that was called Killing Time. Raise your hand in the chat if you heard the song Killing Time by me and A$AP Rock. This was the bonus track only available on the vinyl. And if you haven't heard it, then you're about to hear it right now. And this was a song, this is like, we recorded this and we recorded One Brick. And also when I recorded In the Ocean with Blockhead, we recorded all these in the same session. So here we go. I'm going to play this joint for y'all. Illogic featuring A$AP Rock. Killing Time.
Yeah. A$AP Rock. Illogic.
We recorded this in A$AP's living room in his one-bedroom apartment.
Check it out, check it out. We the peak of bipedal civilization, zombie style, stepping through life in single file formation. I see no foul, defacing the monument you all worship. On the quest to fall before you learn to crawl.
Okay, version overcame skin, same skeleton within. I tip my swamp past to the zookeeper and sneak my teacher in. Rusty angel with a day glow halo, predicate burner with a cough yield with pediment. Silkworm resident.
My soul can bask in the rays of freedom, reflecting from a seismic sphere. I'm lying here, buried alive in speech, related to be deceased. Immersed in words that reach the highest degree, just now realizing that I'm
a corroded miner with a shovel and a pick. This tunnel stripped of all basic congeniality. Muddy pig lip kicking, licking my chops for the fast laners who never stopped in the kitchen. With an overall hate for the plate of coals my bellows digging.
Now I think ink has to be the savior of my sanity.
The link wasn't supposed to be missing, hence the calamity.
Webs of calculated deception lures words to demise.
So pocket your little sob stories and hand out goodbye.
Concrete passages float loosely in gravity defiance until moving at the speed of light twice removed. Non-aging soothe the savage beast of no-brainers. It's rhyme water in the form of Asian combat, rhyme slaughter. Retainer of mind, manipulative matrix talk. Life is a gift in a mix and twist the politically correct. Intersect clefts of limericks, open doors to mimics and allow the timid of hermit to rip. Shift to warp 7. After I left heaven on a bed of 11 clouds as the seventh sun, I'm never free to run realistic. Simplistically dance on tables and be that imbecile that will never really be an artist, or in this case
Word, Carlos, this the first time you heard me, huh?
To recreate some and some recreate you if you allow them. Stepping into places to create yourself. Encase yourself in up a shelf and never be heard. It's your choice if you want to be a waste of words. You want another serving? I know you can taste the words. Are they filling your tummy? Mumbling wild cadences over indigo loops with swirling drums and a caramel bass line. They're unable to reprogram. That's why I hate mine. Thinking on 2 feet next to the fire hydrant. The puppies greet you with urine samples. With ample conformity in your system, you walk with urine soaked slacks, soaking in sensationalism. Hating, you'll miss them. I see you not amusing or amused as you're abused by the mic I hold in your other right, my left appendage. You're being abused by this mic that I hold in my other right, your left appendage.
There's a knot inside my gut that's growing faster by the day, so pardon my not showing up for your Saturday matinee.
Now dive into the fishing hole and retrieve the skull's laws dangling from the hook and line while I spill wine to kill time.
I'ma sit right here and I'ma skip these songs until they realize that money couldn't buy
a backbone.
Full lengths of thoughts are shown, covering the hovering mass of will.
Yo, wanna buy a lung? Not broken, it just needs coaxing. It comes with a free 5-minute warranty and tar coating. When fortune tellers turn old yellow, these propellers sputter through space and dispatch they last smoke cloud in the name of good faith. Silence, glitter for the love, a little Hitler hybrid, glittering pleasant arena. I pitch forks through the wiring and it's hard to admire dead man through the triplicate 6 nature faded prior to time allowing the devil-scape fabrications. Drilling through its shell right now. I'll be there when it hatches, catching thieves on a mattress, a matchstick. Ashes to ash, woke to burn the high noon oil for life.
For life.
Pensions to the engines that propel your candlelight.
Cinema classic.
What a man be for living. I strike backwards with an iron fist driven through the skull of malice siblings. Line them up like laminated bookie cards. Or laminate your fortune cookie short. Okay, ready on the left? God, please. I was born sloppy on an origami tugboat in high seas. Now I spend simmering summers dragging bigger boats on home cause I can soak the spotlit evenings while I sweat and watch. Bandit spiders and scum luring their sheep with a dead god and broken promise in abundance. I am not a product of the blizzard. I don't sweat semiotics, baby. Half as much as I admire a clear yes, no, or maybe. So, here's the good old gold-plated wingspan. Quite incredible, a dead your pinnacle. White and sweaty eyes, side, ease back. Television, pen, pad, dime, weed sack. Breathe, nap, then repeat.
Never before have you seen 2 hybrids dismantle silence, palms handle violence, dilating the candle's iris.
Yeah, Mama, father high and make it teach mortals to float. And I'ma show you why it feels above.
I think it was like 500, honestly.
Light on the otherwise dreary tomorrow, leaving breadcrumbs in the streets for the cannibals to follow.
We the garden of stardom with 10-30 nails in a bucket, waiting for the makeshift broken wing and dark angels to plummet.
I think it was 500. I think we pressed 500 of Got Lyrics vinyl, I want to say. I can check with print to figure out exactly, but I think it was 500, and yeah, they sold out pretty quick. And I only have a copy. I think print maybe has a copy. Yeah, but yeah, that was killing time. That was the bonus track on the vinyl LP for, Got Lyrics. And so, we've come to the end of the show, and, for everybody that has stayed around, are you excited to see the world premiere of the Conquer the Climb video?
It's not necessary for the audience. It's not necessary for the audience to know every detail.
Hold on. It's a little loud there. It's not supposed to be there. So I'm a Conquer the Climb video. Here we go. It's the world premiere. I want to thank y'all for your support. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for, checking us out. And yeah, this video is actually dropping for everybody on how smart is A$AP Rock. A$AP Rock is smart. He's a smart dude, obviously. Like, just listening to his music, he knows a lot. He's seen a lot. But he's still just a regular guy, just like you and me. He's really cool to hang out with. just a regular dude, but he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Like he's smart, definitely smart. But really want to thank you guys for, rocking with me. And, here is the world premiere of Conquer the Climb, directed by my homeboy, Printmatic. Here we go.
It's not necessary for the audience to know every detail. It's actually more helpful to create an object that for everybody has meaning. But the things I create are not the things. They are the time that the people at the show spend in the company of the things. So it's time that you're making, really, time perceived by an audience. The objects themselves are not what you think they are. What I'm trying to say is, if you were to keep the things I make and put them in an art gallery, they wouldn't be behaving as they were designed to behave. They can only do that in time.
With a broken wing and dented halo, scented with good intentions, aroma permeates the breeze. Snip the potpourri, rebel in a basket case, devil in his new stress, sipping on a flask of faith. Often off in the cut, lost in the ticks of time that crossed his mind, but didn't look both ways. The haze was still while the roadkill behaved for the craved attention paid, so the grave would listen. Avoiding vixens, insisting the mission cave or stall. Notice the focus, hope he evades the fall. Clawing his way to the doctrine's top and watching a slave slap happy, no options, just do what they say. Don't ruffle any feathers or shuffle the deck. On a climb to find his mind, but hadn't lost it yet. Don't neglect the false prophets, opening eyes to lies so the ones denied can profit. It's all in your hands if you understand the longing to exist on a plane where you embody your gift just like this. He just wanted to be happy. He just wanted to succeed. While the underlings were laughing, he gathered the things that he needs to conquer the climb. In hopes of divine peace. Though his eyes were heavy, in the back of his mind he heard dividends remembered in the fall of the masquerade. Sitting in the kitchen with a glass of his past mistakes. Bonded with banter light, tangled in kite strings, waiting to catch flight. But it might sting from the discipline the night brings. Might sing songs to validate each wrong, to calculate the breathing of the wind to the nearest tenth. Forgot to carry the one. Sentences resulted as he carried the sun on his tongue. Burning needed bridges, visits by appointment only. Listened to the whispers, but insisted that he wasn't lonely. So he rode the wave, prepared for the crash. Smiled every day, but scared to laugh. Do what they say, but don't ruffle any feathers or shuffle the deck. On a climb to find his mind, but hadn't lost it yet. Regret is an open wound, pending a bending spoon. The conquered are born, a conqueror is groomed. And understand the longing to exist. On a plane where you embody your gift, it's like this. He just wanted to be happy. He just wanted to succeed. While the underlings were laughing, he gathered the things that he needs to conquer the climb. In hopes of find peace. Though his eyes were heavy, in the back of his mind he heard.
Yeah, what y'all think of the video? What y'all think? What y'all think? You know what I'm saying? My man Printmatic directed that joint. And yeah, man, I'm excited to share that with the world on Monday. But you guys, the Beats and B-Sides crew always gets the preview, So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Got Lyrics, 19 years. It's been a long time. Got Lyrics is older than most of my children. That's an interesting way to look at it. But yeah, man, Got Lyrics, 19 years. And what's up, cousin Shell? I see you. Basically, if you look at the video, you know, kind of, I'm in a dream. When I have the face paint on, I'm a warrior and I'm fighting. Like, it's called Conquer the Climb. So I'm kind of fighting, you know, to get to the top of this mountain. And, you know, I took on, you know, I have the dashiki on and the face paint, which is inspired by African face paint, African warriors. And so in this process of me trying to conquer the climb in my dreams, you know, I'm turning around, you know, tossing and turning, can't sleep, because I'm trying to conquer this mountain that's in front of me. And yeah, so that was the inspiration behind the face paint. But yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed the video, you know, and it will be out for everybody up on YouTube live on Monday. And yeah, man, shout out to everybody. If you're on YouTube or if you're not on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And for everybody that is in this stream, first you have to subscribe to the YouTube page, and then you have to share the YouTube page and hashtag Beats and B-Sides and Illogic, and I will be making a winner, choosing a winner of the, you know, the celebration of 1,000 followers, 1,000 subscribers next Friday. So I know it's Black Friday, but, you know, yeah, I will do that. So I appreciate you guys checking me out tonight, and thank you so much. If you haven't got the album yet, Autopilot is available, CD, vinyl. We got t-shirts, we got, you know, digital, we got stickers, we got posters, you know what I mean? So hit up the Bandcamp, hit up IamIllogic.com, or hit up IamIllogic@bandcamp.com, or hit up IamIllogic.com or illogic.bandcamp.com and get that. But other than that, peace, y'all. Have a good evening, have a good weekend. I thank y'all so much for checking me out. All right, and this has been Beats and B-Sides. We out.